What really happened at that airport? And why did every single eye suddenly turn toward them? Flush face airplane. Army can't stop talking about this moment, and honestly, once you see the details, you won't be able to ignore it either. Welcome back to JiKook Lover Purple Heart, the place where even the smallest moments can hide the biggest meanings. And today, we're diving into something that has shaken fans all over the world. Before we begin, don't forget to like this video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe so you don't miss the most intense and mysterious JiKook updates. Fire! Now, get ready, because what happened at that airport was not just a coincidence. It was supposed to be just another ordinary day at the airport. The constant movement of travelers, the sound of rolling suitcases against polished floors, the distant echo of boarding announcements, everything blended into the usual rhythm of a place that never truly sleeps. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary, until suddenly, everything changed. No official announcement, no flashing lights, no dramatic entrance. And yet, in a single moment, the atmosphere shifted completely. Because they arrived, two figures, walking side by side, dressed in casual outfits, caps pulled low, masks covering most of their faces, as if trying to move through the crowd unnoticed. But that's where the mystery begins. Because despite every effort to appear ordinary, there was nothing ordinary about the way people reacted. Heads turned, conversations stopped, cameras quietly lifted, and within seconds, all eyes were on them. Why? That question didn't come later. It started right there in the moment. Because it wasn't just their presence that caught attention. It was the way they moved together. Their walking pace, perfectly aligned. The subtle shift in direction, almost instinctive. The unspoken awareness of each other, impossible to miss. It wasn't loud. It wasn't dramatic. But it was there. And people felt it. Eyewitnesses later described the same strange sensation. Something subtle, yet undeniable. Something that couldn't quite be explained, but also couldn't be ignored. Why do they look like that? Is this just coincidence or something more? Those questions began spreading even before the videos went viral. Because of course, someone captured it. A short clip, just a few seconds long. But within those seconds, something sparked. Something that would soon explode across social media platforms around the world. From one post to thousands. From one country to millions of viewers globally. And just like that, a simple airport moment became a global conversation. People began analyzing everything. Frame by frame, step by step, glance by glance. Every tiny movement suddenly felt significant. A hand slightly shifting closer, almost touching. A brief glance, too synchronized to be random. A subtle slowdown in walking, as if one was waiting for the other without needing to say a word. Individually, these moments might seem meaningless, but together, they told a story, or at least they seemed to. And that's where the world became divided. Some insisted this was nothing more than a normal interaction, blown out of proportion by emotional fans. They argued that people were simply seeing what they wanted to see. But others weren't convinced. Because if it was truly nothing, why did it feel like something? Why were thousands of fans, from completely different cultures and languages, all noticing the same details? Why were so many people reacting with the exact same emotion at the exact same moments? There's something different. That phrase began appearing everywhere. And the more people watched, the stronger that feeling became. It wasn't just about what was visible. It was about what was felt. A kind of connection that didn't need words. A presence that didn't need explanation. A moment that somehow felt bigger than itself. Media outlets started paying attention. Online forums filled with theories. Reaction videos flooded timelines. And with every new perspective, the mystery only deepened. Some called it a coincidence. Some called it chemistry. Some called it something much more. But no one could fully explain it. And maybe that's exactly why it became so powerful. Because in a world where everything is constantly analyzed, explained, and defined, this moment refused to be pinned down. It stayed just out of reach, just ambiguous enough, just emotional enough, just real enough. As time passed, the clip continued to circulate. People kept returning to it, searching for answers, looking for clarity, hoping to find something definitive. But instead, they found more questions. Why didn't they keep a clearer distance like usual? Why did they seem so naturally in sync, even in such a public space? Why did this moment feel so different from all the others before it? Was something changing? Or had something always been there, and people were only just beginning to notice? Experts in pop culture even began discussing how moments like these reveal something deeper about human perception. How people can sense connection, even without explicit interaction. How meaning can exist beyond words. And yet, the biggest mystery remained unanswered. Because if nothing was happening, why did it feel like everything was? Maybe it was just a coincidence. Or maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was simply two individuals walking side by side. Or maybe it was something much more complex, something that can't be easily explained, labeled, or confirmed. And that's the part that keeps people watching, rewatching, questioning. Because deep down, everyone is trying to figure out the same thing. Not just what happened at that airport, but what it meant. And just when it seemed like the conversation might begin to fade, something unexpected happened. The moment refused to disappear. Instead of losing attention, it grew stronger. Clips were reposted, edited, zoomed in, slowed down, mirrored, and even stabilized to capture the smallest possible detail. Fans began noticing things they hadn't seen the first time. A shift in posture, a micro-expression, a hesitation that lasted less than a second, but somehow felt meaningful. And that's when a new layer of curiosity emerged. Because now, people weren't just watching. They were studying. Some pointed out how their body language seemed unusually relaxed for such a public setting. Others noticed how their proximity didn't fluctuate the way it normally might in crowded environments. There was no awkward adjustment, no visible effort to create space. It looked natural. Too natural, some would say. And that word, natural, quickly became the center of the discussion. Because what does natural really mean in a situation like this? Does it suggest comfort, familiarity, or something deeper that people are only beginning to question? As debates intensified, timelines across social media filled with side-by-side comparisons. Past airport appearances were brought back into focus. Fans revisited older videos, searching for patterns, for similarities, or differences that might explain why this particular moment felt so unique. And surprisingly, many began to notice a shift. Not necessarily something dramatic, not something that could be easily proven, but something subtle, something gradual, as if this moment wasn't isolated, but part of a larger story unfolding quietly over time. That idea alone sent the fandom into another wave of speculation. Because if this wasn't just a one-time occurrence, then what exactly were people witnessing? Was this simply a coincidence amplified by timing and perspective? Or was it a glimpse into something that had been evolving unnoticed? The uncertainty only made it more compelling. Meanwhile, outside the fan community, casual viewers who stumbled upon the clip found themselves drawn in just as deeply. Many admitted they didn't fully understand the context, but still felt that something about the interaction stood out. "I don't know who they are," one viewer commented, "but even I can tell there's something there." And comments like that only added fuel to the fire. Because when even those unfamiliar with the situation begin to sense something unusual, it becomes harder to dismiss it as imagination. Still, skepticism remained. Some voices insisted that human perception is easily influenced, that when people expect to see meaning, they often create it, that perhaps this entire situation was a perfect example of collective interpretation, where millions of individuals unknowingly shape the same narrative. It's a reasonable argument, but it doesn't fully explain the emotional response. Because logic alone can't account for why so many people felt the same tension, the same curiosity, the same unspoken question lingering in their minds. There was a certain intensity in the way people reacted. Not just excitement, but something more complex. A mixture of hope, confusion, anticipation, and disbelief. And that emotional combination is rarely triggered by something truly insignificant. Which brings the conversation back to where it started. That airport, that moment, that walk. What exactly made it different? Was it the timing, the setting, or was it something intangible, something that can't be measured, only felt? As more interpretations surfaced, some fans began focusing not on what was seen, but on what wasn't. The absence of obvious interaction, the lack of exaggerated gestures, the quietness of the moment, and strangely, that silence became one of the loudest elements of all. Because in a world where every move is often amplified, performed, or carefully controlled, a moment that feels unfiltered stands out even more. And that's exactly how this felt to many. Unfiltered, unscripted, real. But then again, appearances can be deceiving. And that possibility introduced yet another layer of doubt. What if everything people were seeing was simply a projection? What if the meaning didn't exist in the moment itself, but in the minds of those watching it? That question lingered unanswered, because no matter how many times the clip was replayed, no matter how many analyses were conducted, no definitive conclusion ever emerged. Only interpretations, only feelings, only theories. And perhaps that's what makes this moment so powerful. Not the certainty, but the uncertainty. Because as long as there's no clear answer, the discussion never ends. People keep returning, keep watching, keep questioning, searching for something that may or may not be there. And maybe that's the real reason why this moment captured so much attention. It wasn't just about what happened. It was about what could have happened. The possibility, the ambiguity, the idea that something meaningful might be hidden beneath something so simple. And that idea is incredibly difficult to let go of. Even now, as time passes, the questions remain just as strong as they were in the beginning. If this was just a normal moment, why did it feel so different? If nothing unusual happened, why is everyone still talking about it? And if everything truly meant nothing, then why does it still feel like it meant everything? Maybe the answer isn't something that can be proven. Maybe it isn't something that can be confirmed or denied. Maybe it exists somewhere in between, where perception and reality blur into something that feels real, even if it can't be defined. Or maybe there really was something there, something small, something subtle, something that wasn't meant to be noticed, but was.